Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nisrina Nur Arifah. I have a dream to become a psychologist. In general, a psychologist a field of science who studies mental behavior and process. But in Indonesia, psychologist specifically takes a psychology baby who has taken a psychological professional education. Psychologists who did not take the psychological scientist professional education. Psychologists in Indonesia are members of a professional organization called the Indonesia Psychological Association, have a psychologist designation certificate, and are required to have a psychology practice license in accordance with the provision of the applicable law. Psychologists can be categorized into several fields according to their branch of psychology. For example, clinical psychologist, educational psychologist, industrial psychologist, or forensic psychologist. But the word psychologist is more often used to refer to a clinical psychologist, a psychologist working in the mental health sector. I dream become a psychologist because I feel I really want to help others in terms of mental health. It is like a doctor who heals a patient psychically. Psychologist heals a person through mental health. Many of my friends also suggested to me to become psychologist because some of them felt that every time they told me they felt they had a good solution, and they also said that I was a good story listener for them. The way I got this job was that I studied psychology at any university, if possible in the country. Then I took my graduate education. I also joined organization in mental health sector, making friends with people who are experienced in handling other people's mental health case, because that way can support my work, which later I will rest of. Then I continued my master degree to get a psychology degree. I worked in office to become HRD, or later I will become a civil servant in a government station in a government office. This is my orientation to be able to work into psychology. When will I get this job? When later I have finished my education up to master degree, and I will get this job, because to become a psychologist you really need to study up to master degree before you can become a psychologist. Myself will later focus on taking clinical psychology because to cure other people's mental health. A person who is later oriented to become psychologist must take clinical psychology education. Feel that to work as a psychology, I will work in urban areas that have many opportunities in the field of mental health. For example, in the areas of Jakarta, Yogyakarta, Surabaya, Bandung, Semarang, and many more. There are also many government agencies that I will try to register later, and I will also open my own clinic, or I will create my own website so that later other people can consult with me via website.